How to find discount properties on MLS. Looking for properties that have a price reduction on MLS is a great way to increase your net profits and your walk-in equity in a deal. So it's very, very important for you to understand how do I find a reduced priced or discounted properties on MLS. Training real estate agent is essential because it can help you obtain market insights, guiding you where to find and how to find the best deals. It's also crucial to give them as much time, know-how, and authority as much as possible to work on your terms. By conducting some basic, rational, logical, unanswerable thought experiments, I have concluded there are 5 realizations. In the first place, I know money is not made in real estate, but is made when you purchase it right. So I feel it's much more valuable to trade for equity in one day than it would be to gain in years from a gradual appreciation. So buying properties with a walk-in equity is the number one way of making money in real estate. Because when you buy properties with walk-in equity, you immediately give your investment a security. As a consequence, looking with significant equity has become imperative. And the second realization that I came to understand is the MLS was the best place to find deals. Every person that I have worked with and all the real estate things that I've learned, how to look for properties. And they always taught, look for delinquent places, look for foreclosures, look for auction bases, attend auctions, attend foreclosures, attend power of sales, and so on to look for bargain properties. But the problem with that is there's too much competition out there, and you do not end up buying properties below market because of this competition. The purpose of discovering options after a short time in the market realized that doing deals in such a location would be a waste of time because I faced fierce competition from other investors and I was forced to expand on considering MLS. When you enter into the real estate market space where this competition is more heated, it's very, very difficult to find consistently great deals. They require significant amount of time and effort, and it's hard to have consistently great deals. It is the best to use the resources of other people, means OPR, especially realtors, since they are in the market daily and they understand the market, and especially if you could train them to look for the deals as per your terms, you will have an upper hand when searching for properties. If you could train your realtors to look for deals 15% below the market price, not every realtor is going to understand that, but there will be realtors who will be willing to take up on that and find you the deals. Remember, most investors are just talkers. So don't be just a talker, be the action taker. And if you take the action, you will succeed in this market. The next point is to connect with the others like realtors. Connect with the right realtors is the best to use OPR, means other people's resources, such as realtors. Their resources and time are available to you as investors, free of charge when purchasing properties. So ask them to look for deals 15% below the market price. It's also a fact that many realtors or real estate agents are not well trained in finding deals for investors, and they cannot identify those properties with at least, let's say, 15% equity. Since it would be too much hassle for them to search, many people just don't find them. They like to do straightforward deals and think of creative options as manipulative. Most investors are just talkers. Additionally, I learned why realtors don't like dealing with investors is because a lot of the investors are just talkers. They waste time of the realtors. Due to the simple fact that most investors are just talkers, not worth a penny less than they promise. It's no surprise that real estate investors find it hard to attract good real estate agents or brokers who will find them great deals. Nevertheless, investors with good judgment and ability to identify suitable opportunities who act quickly are considered significant assets. My story. I was interested in identifying realtors who had a clear understanding of my objectives and assets as I required to accomplish them. I chose 10 real estate agents that I thought would be a good fit and where I would like them to work based on my goals and values. Then I gave them a criteria, 15% discount criteria, and only five of them replied that I was insane. 3 even didn't bother to respond. Out of the 10 agents that I got in touch with and talked to, only 2 responded. They sent me some listings with some potential properties. One of the realtors sent me 2 listings over to me, and a 3,200 square foot house with a price tag of $280,000. I knew the houses in the neighborhood were selling around $90 per square foot at that time. So I called the realtor and told them I was interested in the property in that particular area. It was a foreclosed house currently being advertised for sale and placed on the market. The banks received 3 bids on that day, and mine was selected because I had the highest bid. I closed on the property quickly. I sold the house after 4 years, which has increased by $150,000 in value and yielded more profits each year. It's very important for you to understand the per square foot price in your area. So the best way is you ask your realtor to give you tons of data, let's say 100 houses in your area between the square footage range that you are looking for. Let's say you're looking for anywhere around 3,000 square foot or 2,500 square foot. So you can ask them to give you the data from 25 to 3,500 square foot, last 100 houses sold in your area at or below the median price range houses. So that way you will have a per square foot price for your area. And if you have the house asking price and you know how much they're asking for, you divide it by the square footage, you will have the cost per square footage price. And knowing the per square footage price in your neighborhood will help you and prove it very beneficial in this business because it's simple. Once the realtor sends you the deals, you will immediately calculate the per square footage price. You will know if it's a good deal or not. Speed is of essence. I'm sure if you get the deal and you act fast, like I have a system that guarantees me access to the deals and I immediately act on them to get the best prices. Leverage. Leverage is one of the most important things in real estate. Without leverage, you cannot scale. So leverage time and resources of the real estate agents to search the deals for you. It's their daily job. Build up the relationship, train them how you work, train them to work on terms, and it can be a mutually very beneficial relationship. So in summary, to search for real estate properties at discount, look for the realtors instead. Number 2, locate all the advertising sources for real estate listings in your area and search for top 10 agents who have listings that match the term like investors, TLCs, motivated seller, etc. Once you see those words, you will know that these realtors are dealing with the properties for investors. And once you have them, get in touch with those agents to see if you can build up a working relationship. Things to remember. Make sure to define your specifications and your investment needs so that the realtor is not in doubt. They exactly know what you're looking for. For example, you're looking for a 3-bedroom house with minimum 1 to 2 washrooms. And it should not require much renovations. It should be from a distressed seller, not a distressed property. And the second thing is you should be ready to make the move. That will make the things very easy. And after you have identified the homes which have 15 or more % discount, the final decision should be taken fast. Because if you decide fast and if you act fast and if you know exactly what you're looking for, the moment you see the property, you're going to notice, oh, this is the one. And then you need to act fast on that. And that will make both the realtor and you happy. When determining the value of the property, there's only one way, the true way of finding the true worth is just by selling it. So comprehensive market study entails 3 phases. Number 1 is discovery. So you should contact your real estate agent or your real estate broker. Ask them to send you all the comparable properties in your target market that may be used in your situation. So if you're looking for a certain segment of the market, that's what you want to focus on. Ask them to send all the sales, all the comparables to that. And then the second thing is assessing. After they have sent you all the information, after considering all the relevant properties, your goal is to reduce the list to 3 most valuable ones, the 3 best listings. And out of those 3, you want to check all those 3 physically and then determine the final subject property on which you want to focus on and determine its market value. So once you have the property, let's say the realtor sent you the property that you think is a good deal, ask the realtor to immediately generate a list of all the comparables to the potential that he has sent you, and find out the properties that were sold within the 10 block or radius or within 5 kilometer radius from that area. 5 kilometer might be sometimes too much. Normally, I would say 10 block. And once you find that, then you know whether your deal is really good or not. Your realtor has access to the MLS to create that list for you. Ask them to send that list, compare it, and then you will know whether you have a bargain on hand or not. When it comes to comparable, I want you to understand that there are several factors, 9 factors that I want you to consider very closely. Number 1 is the square footage. So there shouldn't be more than 10% square footage difference between the square footage of the houses. Let's say you're looking for a 3,000 square foot house. The lowest it can be 2,700. The maximum it should be 3,300. I would say as close as possible if the comparison available. Number 2, the bedrooms. How many bedrooms does the house have? How many washrooms does it have? So consider only single family homes with 3 or more bedrooms. Do not consider less than that, because if the property has 2 or less bedrooms, it's hard to sell. People buy houses because they like to have extra room for themselves. So normally, even if they have a child, they still want a guest room or something like that. So it's good to have at least 3 bedrooms. The properties with 3 or more bedrooms sell faster. The third thing is the home type. What's the house type? Is it a bungalow? It's a 2-story, single story, 1.5 story? What type of the house is this? You have to understand that. Only compare it to the subject property of similar. If it's a bungalow, compared to bungalow. If it's 2-story, compared to 2-story. If single story, compared to single story. It's 1.5 story compared to 1.5 story. The most relevant comparables are those that are very similar to the subject property in all these 9 categories. Number 4 of the 9 factor is the year of construction. When was the house built? So you have to look for the properties within the same year or within the same period of a year, like say within 2-3 year difference on each side. So if the house was built in 2000, you can look from 1995 to 2005, but do not go beyond then few years. Number 5, the location. The best comparables are within 10 block areas of the subject property. Number 6, finished product. Is the basement finished? How many % is the basement finish? So make sure that you look at the subject property and consider the factors close as possible. No more than 10 to 20% difference in terms of completion of the property. Number 7, the sold price. The sold price indicates significant difference between two houses. If there's a difference, why there's difference, you need to look into that. Number 8, the listing date. How long ago was the property listed? And once you generate the list, once your realtor generates the list of the potential, you can see the market value and did it hold for that long? Was it listed for 1 month or 2 months or 6 months? Number 9, the time it took to sell the property. Okay. If the property got sold pretty fast, that means it is of market value, or it is just below market value because it got sold fast. If it took a long time to sell the property, it may have few reasons. Maybe the house is not in good shape, it doesn't have good location, or it's overpriced. As we said earlier, the best worth is known by the sale, is established by the sale. Once a property is sold, we know it is worth that much. But without that, you just have to project the market value after you have identified at least relevant properties. Once you have a computer-generated market value from your realtor, you can use your human logic to decide how authentic is this deal, how comparable is the deal. You have to compare the facts. And if you have a lot of information, it becomes a lot easy to decide. The less information you have, the less relevant the property is to the comparison are to the subject property, the more you will be forced to conclude based on your logic and educated guesses. For example, if I'm looking for an entry-level house for $280,000 and I locate 4 comparables in the same area with similar square footage, similar bedrooms and similar washrooms, layout and construction year as a subject property, and those were sold in the last 6 months, and each of the comparables was sold around $350,000. In that case, I'm confident that the unit that I'm considering has $70,000 in equity. My next step is determine whether this property has any problem or not. The property might be in distress, or the property might have an issue with it. That's why the seller might try to sell the property below its comparables. Or there might be other reasons, like it might be a distressed seller. He might be going through divorce. He might be going through bankruptcy. He might be planning to file for bankruptcy, or he might be filing for a consumer proposal, or he might have collections. He might have lost his job and doesn't want to, have the property anymore. Or he might have bought another house and he can't afford to keep this. When you find a property with a distressed owner, that's when you will find the deal. I'm not asking you to take advantage of the distressed owner. Instead of taking advantage of the distressed owner, you are here to help the distressed owner, to help them get out of the situation that they are in. So the key thing is finding the distressed owner, not finding the distressed property.